What's up, everybody, and welcome to a safety meeting gameplay series. Today we are playing Rising World, and we are finally at the moment of the long-awaited 0.7 alpha water update. And not only did we get a water update, we got a ton of new stuff too. We got some vegetation, some new decorations, a lot of bug fixes. We're going to go over a lot of it, not everything. I'm not going to go over the bug fixes because that's going to get a little bit tedious because there's quite a few. But I will go over some of the new stuff that was implemented into the game. But first, let's go right down and check out the water, because that's what we've all been waiting for, isn't it? Now, so far, I haven't really done any exploring yet. We've been so excited for this water update that the community on our server decided let's just go ahead and do a server wipe right when it comes out, and we'll just see what we get for a brand new generated world. Now, here was the first little pool of water that I saw when I initially spawned in. And this isn't a terribly good example of what the water actually looks like because it's such a small little, not even a pond, this is more like a puddle. But one thing that I did want to show you real fast is water and thirst is actually a thing now in this game. So when you get thirsty, all you gotta do is go up with an empty hand, and my interact button is E. I think that's how it's defaulted. So you just hit the interact button and now it says you drank some water. So that is how you can quench your thirst now, which I think is really awesome. That's something that we've all been really excited to finally get into the game. So let's go check out what I did real fast. You can get to see a little bit bigger of a body of water. Now this wasn't here when the world was generated. I kind of built this just to get a little bit of practice to see what it was like to build your own area with water. Oh, we already got some cows enjoying it. That's awesome. Now this is just my first attempt, so I'm sure it's probably going to end up looking a lot different. Hey, quiet down you. I'm in the middle of something here. Uh-oh. No! Well, that's awkward. Alright, so anyway, none of this was here when we first started. Actually, this entire plateau wasn't here. I built this because one of the big bummers about the blueprints right now is if you have any structures made with blocks, you can't rotate your blueprints. And I was kind of hoping that we were going to end up facing off a totally different direction. So I didn't really have a choice but to face it this way. So I built an entire mountain to place it on. One cool thing is, though, that's the sunset right there, so we have a really cool view. Anyway, let's go down here and check out the water, and you can actually swim in the water as well, so let's go do that real fast. What's up, Bessie? You gonna go for a swim with us? Come on, let's get wet. Whoa. This is actually the first time I've even swam in here, so this is kind of cool. Ooh, it gets dark, huh? Oh, very cool. So my little beach over here did work. So what I ended up doing, I just kind of built this up, and in creative, I went through and just painted the whole area with sand before I added the water. Now, one thing that I plan on doing, and it's going to be done very quickly, is a tutorial on how to do something like this. I'll show you all the commands for the water and how to place it and things like that, because it is actually a little bit tricky at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's fine. And you're pretty much good to go. So not only did we get our water update, we had a whole bunch of other changes as well. So let's go over a couple of those. Now, one thing that I saw on the forums is that because of the new update, a lot of the existing worlds are kind of being bugged out a little bit. And I think that was to be expected because this water update was so big. So it's being suggested to just go ahead and start a new world for right now until the devs can kind of get a handle on what's going on with existing worlds not liking this new update. But here are a couple of the new things that came in the update. I just went ahead and placed them here. We got some new vegetation in the form of trees. This one might be considered a bush, I'm not even sure. This is a dead rowan. I think that's a rowan bush. I don't know if it's a rowan tree or a bush, who knows. But that's a dead rowan. We have a swamp maple now, and I think that's just to go along with the update so we can put these around some cool swamp biomes and things like that. And there's two more versions of this, but I just went ahead and placed the one because I don't want to spoil everything for everybody. So that is the swamp maple, and we have a dead willow tree, which is kind of cool looking. I'm looking forward to kind of messing around with some Halloween stuff possibly at some point. And lastly, we have a cherry tree. I think this is pretty sweet. So let's pick some cherries. I haven't done that yet. That looks like I need to eat anyway, because I'm not in creative right now. So let's go ahead and munch down some cherries. And a couple of the new plants are a sea plant and a tube sponge. And for those of you that know about that kind of stuff, we know that the tube sponge is not a plant. It is, in fact, an animal, but we're just calling it a plant for right now anyway. Now, we also have a couple of new decoration items as well. We have a wicker chair and a life preserver ring, I think is what we got. So let's go over to our crafting benches and check it out, see what we have. Now, for those of you that are familiar with my series with the tutorials and the Season 1 of Rising World, you'll notice that my house is pretty much back to bare bones. I didn't bother blueprinting it after I did all the little upgrading to it. I just plan on doing some rebuilding to it anyway. So I like doing the building, so I'm looking forward to kind of figuring out how I actually want to do this house, because now we're in our permanent world. Let's go find out where this wicker chair is. I'm assuming it is going to be in here. Under seatings. Wicker beach chair. That's... oh, wow. So I am in creative right now because I didn't want to have to... I haven't even looked for any resources yet in this world yet, so I just went ahead and jumped into creative just so we can check some of this stuff out. So let's bonsai down here real fast. Let's set up our little beach chair. Let's see, where's a nice romantic spot? We'll set it right next to the cow. That's a good spot. Sit with your man or your woman, having a cow whispering into your ears. Beautiful. Wicker chair and cow butt. Doesn't get any better than that. So can we sit in this thing? Yes, we can. That's pretty cool. That actually is a really nice view. Very, very cool. Alright, what else do we have here? So you go ahead and enjoy that wicker beach chair. Boom, cow butt. And we are going to go find out what this life preserver ring looks like. I have no idea what bench that's in. I'm assuming somewhere into the decorations. I don't know if it's a decoration or if it's functional. I guess we'll find out. Okay, it's definitely very possible that I'm blind right now, but I don't see it there. Miscellaneous? Yes, life-saving ring. Alright, back to the beach before it gets dark. So we have a romantic beach getaway chair. Yes, the cow does agree. She does like it. So just in case somebody's drowning, and you're sitting there with your woman, now we have something we can throw at them if something goes wrong while we're skinny dipping. So is this functional in any way? No, purely decoration. That's still really cool though. I like that. Come here, cow. Come check it out. Alright, so what else did we have in this update? We have, let's see, I went over all the water. I went over the fact that we can drink the water. Oh, there's now the ability to, if you're into using the editing tool, let's go into this real fast. I'm gonna hit let's see, F5, and normally you can just have this little circle to deal with for editing your terrain and stuff like that. Just so I don't do too much damage to my little area here, I'm gonna put it on paint, and let's see if it's gonna do it. Yep. So that's just the traditional circle that we've had to use in the past. Now if you press the G key, you'll actually get a square, and you can still use your plus and minus keys and make it bigger or smaller. But that's kind of cool now that we have that we have a way to change that now. It actually came in really, really handy when I was building that little lake area over yonder. Ooh, that's pretty. Alright, so that's one of the other updates, and I think that works with everything, with the painting and doing the terrain, adding and subtracting and smoothing it out and all that kind of good stuff. So one of the other updates is the option to keep your inventory on death, and that is in your settings, from what I understand. So let's try this out. If we go into settings and miscellaneous, it should be a check mark. Yeah, here we go. Keep inventory. If enabled, you don't lose your inventory on death. So that's something that they just implemented into the game. which I know that's going to make a lot of people happy. I'm going to keep this unchecked just because I like the survival aspect of it. And then there's actually quite a few changes just to this miscellaneous settings. We have allow console commands. If enabled, you can enter various commands into the console. Allow fly mode in survival only. That's now a check. If enabled, you can use the fly mode in survival. If you're on a server, that's probably going to have to be changed in your permissions, and that's a whole nother thing. Oh, another cool one is when you chop trees, the leaves will actually fall now. So let's get back out of here. And since we're on a server right now and there's a few people on, I don't want to adjust the daytime or anything like that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually just going to hang out here for a second, take a quick break and wait for morning to come. And I will be right back. This is the last thing that I really wanted to go over, is the new animation for the leaves falling when you chop trees. That guy's probably going to take a minute. Alright, so let's check it out. Let's see what the cherry tree does. There we go. See how the leaves are falling now? So that's a new animation that they just added in. Let's try it on the maple since I'm not leaving it here anyway. Oh, very cool. I like that. It's amazing how those little things make such a big difference in the game. Well, I think that's about everything that's worth showing. There's a lot of other updates and bug fixes that I haven't mentioned, but I'm going to include it in the description down below so you can see the whole list of everything that was done for this update. So I think one thing that I would like to do before we wrap this whole thing up is go kill a rooster. Where'd you go? I would like to actually find an ocean and see what that looks like. I haven't explored any of this server yet. It's a brand new world. It's only been up and running for maybe about 3 hours now. So I haven't even gone anywhere beyond this little chunk of property right here. So let's get an empty hand and F2 to get into fly mode and figure out how far we have to fly to find an ocean or just a bigger body of water. Because I keep seeing these little sporadic ones all over the place. I'm just going to go this way and see what we find. And we'll end this episode with hopefully a big body of water in front of us. This one looks kind of cool right here. Now, if only we could get some hot spring baths or something like that. Is that what those things are called? Yeah, something like that. And have those actually regenerate your health. That would be really cool. This kind of looks like a golf course. Any modders out there, make a golfing mini game for Rising World. So there's definitely a ton of little ones generated all over the place. Yeah, it looks like we found a snow biome. So I guess while we're here, one of the things in the update was they added some visual touches to the snow biome. And I think that's really about all they said in the description, was they added some visuals to it. So anybody that's familiar with the snow biome, let me know what's different about it. Hello, mooses. I've never really spent a lot of time in the snow yet in this game, so I don't know exactly what they changed. And I don't know if we're going to find an ocean. Here's what I'm going to do. If we don't find an ocean before the sun sets, then we're just going to have to wait for a different adventure. Probably what we'll end up doing. Oop, hello, bear. Probably what we'll end up doing if we don't find one right now. I'm starting up very, very quickly here a Season 2 of Rising World. Now that I know what the heck I'm doing, we're going to do a survival season starting from day 1. And we're going to go over absolutely everything there is to go over about the game. Complete tutorials, how you do this, how you do that, why we did it, all that kind of good stuff. We're going to really try to go over it in a lot of detail. So we had a bit of an update since I started flying around looking for an ocean. I flew around for about 25 minutes and I couldn't find anything, not even a lake. So I gave up just thinking maybe that's how the water update was. And then I found out that there's a hotfix that makes it so the lakes and all of that stuff gets generated properly. Some people are getting them, some people weren't. So here's what we did. You'll notice that we're in a totally different area now. We went ahead and did a second server wipe real fast because we only had an hour or two into that world anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. And this is what I found. Let me show you. Now you can see what this grand water update was all about. That is what I'm talking about right there. Here, let's show you from the world spawn. As soon as you spawn in, this is what you're gonna see. Bam, look at that. And somebody on the server has already discovered that this isn't an ocean, it is in fact a lake. They did a lap all the way around and ended up back at my house. So that is actually just a very decently sized lake, which is very, very cool. So I wanted to make sure I included this in the video, so I did a little post edit here real fast, just because I know the devs put a lot of time in this update, and there's a lot of impatience with some people wanting to get it, which is understandable, but at the same time, the game is early access, so play another game while you're waiting. So that was my early access public service announcement. Nope, see, the rooster even agrees. So basically what my plan is, this is where all the tutorials are going to be done at, and eventually I'll have a permanent home built up here, which I'm looking forward to. But to start my Season 2 survival series, I'm going to find a spot someplace way the heck away from here. We're going to do a survival from day one, and we're going to learn every aspect we can possibly learn about this game. But I think for now, this is a perfect spot to wrap it up. I went over pretty much all of the important stuff with the update. I'm going to include an entire list in the description below, so if you want to see everything, including all of the bug fixes, just go ahead and drop down to the description, and it's going to show you absolutely everything that was done in the 0.7 update. Oop, we got somebody floating over the water over there. Enjoying the new view. So as always, I appreciate everybody for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, please leave me a like. I appreciate those as well. And I hope to see you soon for Survival Season 2.